And welcome everybody to I'll Hang Up and Listen, brought to you by Fattey Beer Company, Western New York's premier market and tap room with, of course, over 300 beers to choose from at 7 different Western New York locations. If you need a beer, get over to Fattey Beer. Let them know Two Goalies and Mike sent you. I am actually at the Fattey Beer location in Lancaster, New York. As you can tell, snow's starting to come down. People are starting to file in for a very highly anticipated Saturday. Is it 4:30 p.m. kickoff? Playoff game against the Denver Broncos. We're hoping for obviously a trip to the Super Bowl here. You know, second game, then we have the AFC Championship game, and then hopefully the big game. So Greg Day Jr. Popping in behind me. It's funny because he's like before we went live, he's like, just if you're gonna have me on the show, don't just put me on the spot. I have something for you to say. You know, just so put microphone. But then I always say Greg, you're probably just gonna pop in the show because that's what you do. And then he just does it. So, and of course, as always, our sponsor at Extreme Discount Mattress, Western New York's finest selection of mattresses and adjustable beds featuring cool memory foam, two-sided mattress, Tele latex, organic mattress, Shannon Wells, and of course, the big ones, Scott and Living, all for 1/3 to 1/2 the supposed sale prices anywhere. So stop in at any of their 7 locations across Western New York and check out their website, extrememattress.com. That is extreme with an X. If you're looking for more savings, check out their new closeout center at 1625 Walden Avenue in Cheektowaga with up to 80% off their already low prices. Save a fortune on one-of-a-kinds, closeouts, and floor samples. You get a quality mattress for literally pennies on the dollar. Extreme Discount Mattress. We sell mattresses for less, a lot less. And don't forget, if you mention that you're a fan of Two Goalies, One Mike, you get yourself a free mattress protector with any purchase of a mattress. The Buffalo Sabres rally back after being down 3-1 to obviously they lost in overtime 5-4 to the Minnesota Wild, a very good Minnesota Wild team. Even though they were missing some important players in their lineup tonight, you still have Quinn Hughes out there, you still have Zuccarello out there, you still have Kaprizov out there, so that's still a very good probably cup contending Minnesota team. You were down 3-1. It took you a while to find your legs. I mean, and you tied it up and you made it 3-3, and I think you only had 11 shots on net when you did so. So listen, you're not going to win every game, but every single point matters for this hockey team right now in a very tight Atlantic Division and a very tight Eastern Conference. You have to find a way to get points, and they did today. So shout out to them. I thought they were very good the back half of that game. Beautiful goal from Alex Tuch. Jack Quinn with 2 goals again. I believe it was 2 goals, right? Jack Quinn scored twice, right? No, he had a goal and an assist. I apologize. But it seems like he's starting to find his stride. Jason Zucker with 2 points, Ryan McLeod with a goal and an assist, Alex Tuch again with that beautiful goal, Sammy with an assist, Krebs with that deflection goal in front, Darlene Thompson both with assists, and UPL getting the loss with 30 saves on 35 shots against. I think maybe you probably want the 4th one back if you're UPL, but all for all, I mean, I thought he played an okay game. Not a ton to complain about from that end. But, again, that's a very, very, very good Minnesota Wild team. We're going to hit I know I wasn't really expecting a huge show today given the implications of the Bills playing here very shortly. So I'm going to keep today short. I'm going to let you guys enjoy your pre-gaming for the Bills game. But I just want to get in here and get my thoughts in. So bright side, got a point. Every point counts, even OT loser points. Downside, took too many penalties. Yes, the penalties were a big point of contention for me. I thought that penalty heading into overtime was really soft. I don't think you make that call, at least in my opinion, with 11 seconds left in the game in a tie hockey game. That's garbage to me. But it's a rough show. Whatever. But yeah, too many penalties today. You put yourself in too many shorthanded positions, and it cost them tonight. It just did. You had a 5-on-3 power play opportunity of your own, and you just failed to cash in. Kind of same old story with that special teams unit. You can't find a way to cash in. Too much passing, not being selfish enough, not getting pucks to the net, not having bodies in front of the net. They really need to figure out that power play. It's been 2 years now of it just being very, very, very stagnant, and you're not going to get 5-on-3 opportunities very often. And when you do, you have to cash in. They didn't really have many shots on net during that power play opportunity. So, if it's a Seth Appert problem, if it's a Lindy Ruff problem, it's a personnel problem. I don't know, but given the fact that we have a new GM in town, in Jarmo Kekalainen, you see that like the Rangers have already essentially announced that they're going to retool, and they've informed Artemi Panarin that they're not going to offer him a contract extension. Maybe he's the guy. You see what's going on in St. Louis. A lot of guys could be in the chopping block and being moved for younger pieces. Maybe Rob Thomas or Jordan Kyrou is the answer. I don't know. So also, I don't think we have a good history of Kids Day playing well. At least gave the kids something to cheer about. Yeah, I that is something I was thinking about heading to this game. It's like, man, they really don't have a good record on Kids Day. Hopefully that changes, but at least we got a point. Bad habits creeping up, meaning poor period closeouts, turnovers, defensive end, not enough physical play, front of net, not maneuvering defense, looked gassed, too many minutes, unsustainable. I thought I'll agree with you there, Mauricio. I thought they did look pretty gassed today. This is a completely different hockey team. Completely agree. And welcome to the show. S and a bunch of numbers, welcome to the show. Shout out to you. Hopefully once Lion returns, UPL is done. I'm not putting this on UPL. That overtime shot, that was a tough save to make. I thought he kind of looked way too much of a fish out of water, kind of scrambling around. I didn't like the goal, but at the same time, it's still a tough save to make for any goaltender during 4-on-3 power play in overtime. So would I have liked more control in that position, and maybe he gets a piece of it? Sure, but I don't blame him for it. And you all know how I feel about their goaltending situation. UPL and Power need to go. We're still, okay. Insert Hellenius and Rosen next game. Need energy infusion. Too much pretty boy perfect passing. Shoot, especially power play forwards need to pick a spot, aim, fire quickly. Benson has no finesse. Power 2, and he can take his purse with him. Sorry, guys. I mean, Power didn't have a great game tonight, but again, I don't put this on him. They rallied back after being down 3-1. I mean, they should have been in that position to begin with, but and you all know I'm not an Owen Power defender. But that being said, I think defensively they really did have a bad game. I will agree with that. Power needed to be better today. Power did not have a good game. That's for sure. And he's starting to be a little streaky again, during the 10-game winning streak. And I think 15 out of the last 17 games or 14 out of the last 16 they've won. Power has been good for the majority of those games. But again, he's had a couple games ago, he had a bad game. Today, he had a bad game. You just need more from him. You need more from him. I don't know if to get the more consistency you want out of him from a defensive standpoint, maybe you got to bring in a new defensive coach. Marty Wilford is really wore out his welcome with me. So if this team shows up the same way against Carolina, they will smoke us just like they did Florida. Yeah, was it 9-1? 9-1 Florida loss. That was yikes. UPL seemed tired, lazy, lethargic, needs to use his stick to flex passes through the blue area. Yeah, he didn't have a great game. Actually, no, not. I kind of think about it more. I probably didn't like both those last 2 goals for sure. I think I need a save. Even the first goal, the way it got slid in front, I think if UPL is playing a little bit more structured there, that puck doesn't go in or doesn't make it to, was it Foligno on the first goal? Yeah, I mean, it wasn't his best game, but again, I'm not going to put the loss on him. UPL is nothing more than a shot blocker. UPL needs a structured defense, and when it gets chaotic, he just can't handle it. That I will agree with. I think that he has lacked a lot of structure in his game as a goalie. It kind of drives me nuts. There are games where he does look like he's in complete control, and then there's games like today where he kind of feels like he's a fish out of water a lot. And like I said, I mentioned the game-winning goal. I just felt like, if he's pushing himself over his blocker side with a little more structure and not so, I don't know, just hoping and praying to get his body on it. I mean, maybe he gets a piece of that, So, yeah, that's right. Go Bills. UPL is nothing. Oh no, we already got that one. Power needs to be traded along with. Well, I don't know why the chat gets on Levi. He has nothing to do with this team right now. Why is Levi? I don't get it. Why? He is in Rochester. They're gonna push for an AHL championship. There's Greg Day. I don't understand why people in the chat consistently want to get on him. Like he's the in my opinion, his ceiling is a lot higher than either Ellis or UPL. So why would you trade that guy when he makes like $850,000 a season and doesn't affect your current roster? That doesn't make sense, Mauricio. It doesn't make sense. I'm sorry. I'm up. Yeah, drives me nuts. Get off UPL's dick. I'm not on his dick. If you must be new to the program because I am not a UPL guy, but I'm not going to sit here and blame him for the game. There are plenty of reasons why they lost tonight, and UPL is not the main one. Could he have played better? Absolutely. Should he have probably had 2 of those 5 saves? Absolutely. But there are plenty of other reasons why they lost today too, like not letting yourself get into a 3-1 hole. Let me see. Awful penalty, but can't complain with the point. Yeah, it was a terrible penalty to take. I didn't think it needed to be called that late in the game. I thought that in a tie game late in the third period, heading to overtime, you should probably put your whistles away unless it's a very, very, very blatant call. And that wasn't a blatant call to me. That's, again, the ref's just trying to be a hero. Aggravating game, late period breakdowns and penalties happen too much, even though it was a shit call. Why are we deleting? Nobody's deleting comments here, Real Derp. I don't know who. Nobody's deleting comments. So I had a couple pops. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, nobody's deleting comments, man. I think you're just maybe you've had one too many pops. You can't rely on UPL. It's that simple. The UPL, that I do agree with. I don't think he's a starting goaltender in the NHL. I think he's a good backup. I think he should probably have the career maybe Alex Lyon has had, being like a guy who can be a very consistent backup, can win you, play if he plays 25 games, he wins you maybe 12. That's the way I feel about Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. I think he's a barely above 500 goaltender over the course of a full season. Please bring up and add Prospel to the coaching staff and run the power play. I was having this conversation with a friend the other night too. I don't understand why they don't do that. I mean, Vinny Prospel has had a great NHL career. He was good on the power play. Why wouldn't you bring in an extra set of eyes to this coaching staff? That I definitely do agree with. UPL relies on his athleticism way too much instead of reading the play and using hockey IQ. If you put Devin Levi's head in UPL's body, you'd have a complete goaltender. Because I've said it plenty of times before, UPL is an athletic freak. I always think that when you watch Devin Levi play, he's one of the smartest guys out there. The way he sees the game, it's very reminiscent to me of Ryan Miller. Before you jump down my throat, just look at the numbers, the AHL numbers so far from where, to how his career in the AHL has gone in Devin Levi compared to the way Ryan Miller's career went. They're very, very, very similar numbers. And people were, who want to get on Devin about his season this year. Listen, they don't have Ostlund. They don't have Metza anymore. Rosen has been in their lineup all season. Hellenius wasn't there last night. That is not the same team Rochester has had the past 2 seasons. They're just not. And Devin Levi has played the most games of any goaltender in the AHL, and he still has pretty good numbers, in my opinion. Had a shutout the other night. So I'm not worried about Devin Levi at all, and I don't think he should be in anybody's conversations about trades, because I personally think he has a higher ceiling than any goalie currently in your system. This team really needs a trade boost soon. The East is so competitive right now. Every point matters. I think need both a forward and defensive physicality is a major plus. Yeah, I've talked about Artemi Panarin, Boone Jenner of Columbus, who they seem they're going to be sellers. I love the idea of Rob Thomas or Jordan Kyrou. One player I've always regretted the Sabres trading, it was Marcus Foligno, and you saw why tonight. And, props to Marcus Foligno after that fight with Kesselring, how he put his hand underneath the back of his head so his head wouldn't slam into the ice after the fight. That, major clicks for him. Good on him to do that. I always regretted the Sabres trading him. I loved Marcus Foligno, and I think he would be your captain today if he was still with the team. Yeah, so for me, it's lack of execution today, defensive breakdowns, and goaltending breakdowns for sure. But I thought making 30 saves on 35 shots. Yeah, that's not a great stat line, but I think even with the goals he let in that I think we want back, there were as many defensive breakdowns that led to them. So you can kind of half and half blame the team defensively as well as much as you could. Ukko Pakalukinen. We're going to get to the post-game quotes here. Let me see if I can bring them up. I know Lindy Ruff was at the podium. Let's see if they have anything from Brian Koziel on the in the locker room quotes after the game. Let's see here. Ruff said Kesselring did an awesome job for trying to make a difference with the fight and the scoring chance early on. Says they were a little rust too from him. Yeah, Kesselring and Foligno. I know Kesselring got tied up with Quinn Hughes on the boards. Either one would let the other each other go, and then Marcus Foligno came to fight. Came there with the intention of fighting. They both dropped the gloves. The Ruffs got in between them, but then they both went to the box for 2-minute unsportsmanlike conduct penalties. And then even Rob Ray said it. Like, this is probably not over. Watch them. They got out of the box. And as soon as they both got out of the box, they dropped the gloves. I thought Kesselring held his own against a heavyweight like Marcus Foligno, who can throw absolute bombs. He held his own and got the crowd into it and got the crowd fired up again on Kids Day. Kesselring, I can't remember what happened to the bridge of his nose. I thought that was pretty funny. I'm sure you guys all saw. A lot of the kids drew pictures of the players, and Kesselring's nose was kind of crooked in his. And then when the bridge of his nose was cut, they did a side by side of the kid's picture and his, and he's starting to look more and more like that picture every day. I'm not sure if the picture was drawn before the season or to start the season, or if that happened pre-Kids Day, but it was pretty funny. Samuelson took a puck to the face and he got back into the game. Sabres were a little bit battered and bruised today, but they hung in there and they got a point. So yeah, I thought happy to have Kesselring back in this lineup, and hopefully he can stay healthy. Ruff says they got rewarded with goals with winning inside battles, but they didn't deliver on some other chance they had. Again, like the 5-on-3 power play. When you have a 5-on-3 power play that lasted, I think it was like a minute and a half long, you have to cash in. You have to cash in, especially against a team like Minnesota, who's so dangerous. Even though they're dealing with injuries of their own, they are still so dangerous. So when they give you opportunities like that, you have to find a way to cash in. Obviously, Logan Stanley from the Jets would be a nice add. Yeah, I agree. Big guy too. Would love him on this blue line. I don't know who would come out of the lineup. I know Timmins is out with a broken leg, so you need somebody to fill that spot long term. Ruff said Gustafsson made an incredible play on the game winner. We got a dead tire guy trying to get off the ice. Maybe on second thought, maybe you stay out there. I agree. That was something I noticed too as the play went on. Tried to get off the ice because he was absolutely gassed. Gustafsson kept the play alive going down the other end, and then they score. Krebs says they struggled to get the 5-on-5 mojo going with all the penalties. Says they need to take less. Krebs on the late penalty. That's brutal. The guys did a great job killing that penalty. It's the way it goes sometimes. I kind of tapped his pants. It's on me. Quinn, not our best game all around, but good fight to turn it around. We just got our game and got some. We just found our game and got some ozone time. Luukkonen says it's on me. It's on the team to limit those goals. It's on me. It's on the team to limit those goals. So at least Luukkonen's taking some accountability there. Because again, I didn't like his game, but I don't think he's the sole reason they lost. Luukkonen says he thought the game was choppy with all the penalties and penalty kills. Says there was a lot of flow to the game 5-on-5. Says they ultimately gave up too many goals. Yeah, this is a 5-on-5 hockey team. That's where they're going to live and die. Because I think they've proven it time and time again that you're never going to get consistency with that power play. So you're going to have to live and die by the way you play 5-on-5. I don't agree with you. I don't think Kesselring is ass at all. He's just he's been too injury prone since becoming a Sabre, which is like not funny, but like he has never dealt with injuries before coming to Buffalo. He's never had this type of injury problem before coming to Buffalo. He has never had a major or even a minor injury in his pro career up until he came to Buffalo. Sabres let the other team bring the puck in on 5-on-5 and set things up to keep away way too often. Lots of shots go that way. Yeah, I agree that they didn't play their best game today, especially in the neutral zone. I I think they've done a really good job of clogging up the neutral zone over the last 15, 16, 17 games, winning those battles in that area of the ice, winning board battles, coming out away with loose pucks, playing more physical. That wasn't the case today. They didn't get the goaltending they needed. Defensively, they didn't get the game they needed. So, it's just one of those games where you're happy to escape with a point. And again, you're in the first. As of right now, I still think you are in the first wild card spot. You have games in hand on a lot of the teams that are chasing you. That's not some of the teams that are in front of you. So every point absolutely matters, and I give them a lot of credit for battling back in this game. So I'm going to throw it back to our sponsors. Shout outs again to Fattey Beer Company, Western New York's premier market and tap room with over 300 beers to choose from at 7 different Western locations. I'm currently at the Lancaster location, getting ready to watch the big Bills versus Broncos matchup. Waiting for Greg Day over here to give me his thoughts on his game. We both watched together. You wanted me to bring you in. Give us thoughts on the game.
Thoughts on which game?
The game we just watched.
I'm happy to get a point against a team that's not in our conference. I don't love the result. Tough call at the end of the third period there. You probably already spoke to this. Goaltending wasn't good today.
It wasn't the reason they lost, but definitely what needed to be better.
Yeah, I'm okay with the game. I would have loved the second point. They've been on a hot streak. They got out of it healthy, I believe, right?
Some bumps and bruises of Samuelson and Kessering, but
let's just keep this train moving.
Yep.
And we're on to the Bills. Bills 24, Broncos 17.
Love the score prediction from Greg Day, Jr., manager here over at Lancaster, Fattey Beer. And, of course, as always, Extreme Discount Mattress. We sell mattresses for less, a lot less. They have 7 different locations all across Western New York and a new closeout center at 1625 Walden Avenue in Cheektowaga, where you get, honestly, a brand new mattress for literally pennies on the dollar. Again, we sell mattresses for less, a lot less, at Extreme Discount Mattress. You can find them at extrememattress.com. That is Extreme with an X. And remember, if you mention that you are a fan of 2 Goalies, 1 Mike, you get a free mattress protector with any purchase of a mattress from Extreme Discount Mattress. So again, Sabres lose 5-4 to the Minnesota Wild. I'm not sure if these standings are updated here on NHL.com. So let me see. 27-13-9 Minnesota Wild, 26-16-5 Buffalo Sabres. These two teams coming in, only one win separating the two of them. Sabres have been one of the hottest teams in the NHL as of late. Let's see if we can pull up the Sabres schedule to come. I know they have a few days off before their next game. Let's see. Play Monday against Carolina. In Carolina, always a tough game. Always a very sound defensive style play from the Carolina Hurricanes. So that'll be a tough one. Then you have the Nashville Predators on Tuesday at back-to-back. I imagine we will see Alex Lyon in one of those 2 games. And then, again, you have the Montreal Canadiens on Thursday in Montreal at the Bell Center. So that'll be a fun one. We did just get the win against Montreal in our barn. Huge 4-point swing game, huge 2 points. So that being said, guys, I'm going to cut it out here. Actually, Greg, what does Fattey Beer and Lancaster have to advertise for this upcoming week? Anything big? Any big drink specials? Anything going on?
Yes, we have a new loyalty program. It's called CAPS. Get here, sign up, put your phone number in, and start to earn yourself some free beer.
So you got a loyalty program. Is that new? Brand new. I love it. I love it. So, and if you come to a Fattey Beer company, it doesn't hurt to just gain some points, get some free drinks while you're at it. Great opportunity for all you beer drinkers out there in Buffalo. I know there's a lot of you. So that being said, guys, I hope you have a great day. Go Sabres. Go Bills. I'll hang up and listen, and we will. Oh, actually, real quick, I did want to talk about Jack Quinn. Jack Quinn has been on a heater. I'm not sure if this is one of those streaky things with Jack Quinn where he has 4 or 5 really good games and plays like a hockey god, and then he fizzles out and it disappears for 10. Or could this be Jack Quinn finally being 100%? Because we saw him throwing hits against Montreal. I saw it a couple times, which is not used to him. His goal today, he's in there below the hash marks in the blue paint, digging away. I liked his game a lot over the last few games, and he's always been on the hot seat with fans, me especially. We'll see if there's any consistency to this because, again, like I said, he's a guy that's always involved in the mock trades when it comes to the Sabres, or a guy mentioned as somebody who might need a change of scenery. So I've liked his game over the last handful of games, and hopefully he keeps it up and be consistent because we're heading into, I believe, a roster freeze for the Olympics. So Yarman might be looking to make moves before then. And then obviously the trade deadline in March. So I'll talk to you guys later. I'll hang up and listen. As always, go Sabres. And, of course, go Bills. Talk to you later.